Hey, what's going on YouTube? Joe here from Metafish. Hey, a little impromptu video here. I figure we'd go over all the fish. Looking to do a couple more sales on mymetafish.com. Really appreciate the support from that video. Got a million things to say, so I'll just ramble for a while we look at the fish and flip you over. So this tank's changed quite a bit. I haven't even shown this off, but look at this guy. There's two of them in here. Oh, that's the little one. He's doubled in size. So long story short, when I was bringing in the outside ponds, which I haven't finished the video on, I did the initial Guppy Pond bring in, and those guppies, which I don't think I even showed, these are all the fry I got from that pond. So blue Moscow guppies, as well as super red pineapple swordtails. I'll show you the adults in a second. That also came back out of the pond, as well as some bigger juveniles, but those are the fry and these are the adults. So blue Moscow guppies. I don't have these listed for sale right now, probably should, and I was gonna go around and feed everybody, but it's gonna be too hard to do one-handed because I have lids on all my tanks and it's pretty much a two-hand job. Anyways, back to these guys. I think they're carp. Look at the size of that one. He's going to be my new pet. These were hatched from eggs, apparently, that came in on a piece of driftwood, is my best guess. I got a piece of driftwood up north and threw it in my hot tub, a big piece of driftwood. It was like a log. And there must have been a couple carp or golden shiner, and the way they're growing, I mean, these things were just hatched. This guy can't be more than 3 months old. He was almost this big when I pulled him out of the pond. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he doesn't like being on camera, apparently. It's his debut performance, and sorry about all the glare. So there's the little one. That little one was only about an inch a month ago. So the guppies are looking a little sparse in this 100-gallon tank. These are muck guppies. Really pretty, really hardy. And I got hornwort. I've been trying to keep the duckweed down because it'll take over the whole top. And with this shop light above it, it just grows like gangbusters. It grows like crazy. Valsenaria's still doing good. I hand it out to people once in a while when they come downstairs here. And down here, I'm sure these guys are going to be shy. But yeah, I don't think I've done a video. I ordered from Imperial Tropicals one single fish. It was a Pundamilla macrocephala male. Look it up if you're interested. Really cool black Lake Victorian with red around his fins. And I paid more for that single fish because I had to pay shipping for one fish than I've ever paid for a single fish before. But I had 6 females and no male, so it worked out perfect. They've bred twice for me. I got 2 small batches of fry. And I also have a few more white lab fry. White labs are in here. I'll show you the fry. They're actually small juveniles now. And the white lab is the same species as the yellow lab, Labidochromis, except there's only one collection point for the white labs. So they're much more rare in the hobby. And I really like them. I got them in here with some Hippo Point salmon. So this guy up here, that would be a Hippo Point salmon. Nope. No, that's actually... most of the ones in front here, that's a Hippo Point salmon. The one that just darted away. And the rest of them are what I'm going to call a hybrid yellow blaze lithobait. The male, maybe a white blaze lithobait. I'll have to show you a picture of the male. I ended up selling him because he was beautiful. And he bred with true blood female yellow blaze lithobait. So I can't sell these as pure strain. But I'll show you a picture of one that I sold a few months ago, actually 6 months ago now, to a guy, shout out to John Bayer, I believe is how you pronounce your name, at a GVAC swap, and his male looks awesome now. So this is just a 40-gallon, just with some fry grow-outs. They're about due for a water change. Every 2 weeks I try to change the water. I should probably be doing it a little more frequent, but I have added plants to the tank, and they seem to be surviving. Those plants have been in there for a month and a half now. They're not thriving, but every single one of my tanks that you see plants in, it's going to be low tech, I guess. No CO2, very little fertilizers. These are the Neolamprologus cygnus, and these are 1 to 2 inch. These are not for sale on Aquabid because I posted 6 of them and they were snatched up right away. Shout out, really appreciate it. I believe Steve, I'm not going to say the name. I shouldn't say everybody's name. But yeah, he's coming to pick them up Sunday. He happens to be driving through Michigan, so it's going to work out perfect, I think. These are just some grow out, almost 2 inch. They've grown quite a bit in there in a short amount of time. Blue Dolphins, and you can see I got a breeder box here just with some Christmas moss, I believe that's Christmas. And it's kind of just like a little refugium because I was trying to put Swordtails in it to get the babies out of the breeder box, and it's just got mulm at the bottom of it. But I think just all the extra surface area, having a couple plants there, and I put some water Sprite in there too, and it looks like they've been kind of picking at it a little bit. I don't see very good leaf structure, but if it goes away, it goes away. These are all the jumpers. They're getting too big for their tank. If anybody wants these jumpers, let me know. Give you a really good deal on them. I mean, you got a yellow blaze or one of those white blaze hybrids in there. You got a couple hybrid, I call them hybrid Victorians. That's definitely going to be a male. He's going to be pretty nice. I call them hybrid Victorians because they're not what was sold to me, so I can't positively identify them. Right there's the male. And he's already breeding with the other females in there. Real pretty fish, though. So I have more of those. If anybody wants to do a group of them, I just cannot positively identify them. I believe they're SP44s after posting in Mid-Michigan Cichlid and kind of being corrected that they're not SP44s, 33s maybe. I'm sorry, I don't know the different SP Victorian Cichlid numbers, but a lot of them look similar. So yeah, no positive identification on him. And then I just set these up because I was bringing in the outside tubs. I had another batch of the blue-tailed Gadid. So there's some really little ones in here, and the very first batch I separated most of them, put them in this breeder box, and the plants have been doing really well. And they all hide in the back, but they get brine shrimp a couple times a day. And they had one more batch, so small batches on the Gadids. But I have a few available, and really big fry. I haven't noticed that they're picking any of them off. I feed them baby brine shrimp. So yeah, excited to have more of a rare Gadid. Got a lot of black bar endlers here, so they just got a water change yesterday. And it's kind of unfortunate because I don't know if these are P class or N class. I'm not an endler expert. They're definitely not N class, they're probably P class because they do look like an N wild caught endler without hybridization. They're nice and small like an endler is supposed to be. But yeah, you can't sell them as N class ethically unless, and watch out for that. Make sure you know who you're buying your N class endlers from if that's really what you're looking for, because people sell them as N class all the time and they don't have any documentation that they're actually from the wild, or that's what I've heard. I'm still learning this hobby just like everyone. So here's something interesting I want to ask the community about. Every once in a while when I change my water, it'll get a red tint like this, and that's directly from the tap. You can see it makes the water pretty tinted, and so it's in these breeder boxes. You can see the pink tint, and I believe currently, you could easily change my mind, that red tint, that pink tint that sometimes goes into my tanks is either rust or iron that's not being stripped out of the water. And the water looks clear when it enters the tank, and then shortly after it turns pink. So this water was clear as could be, and I did about a 40% water change on this tank, and then I have pink tinted water. And eventually it does go away, but have any of you experienced this? Because I'm not entirely sure if it's maybe the food I'm feeding. I'm feeding a lot of tetra granules and some other red flake that has a lot of red coloring in it. Or maybe it does, I don't know. But it could be something like that. But if you know what the pink tint is, please let me know. So, got some teeny tiny geophagus babies. I decided to catch a couple females that were holding. These females and males are for sale on the geophagus. These are geophagus red hump steindachnerii. And yeah, I got some nice pictures on Aquabit of them. They're living in here with the angelfish. The angelfish are between $quarter and silver dollar size in this tank. Really nice koi angelfish. Each pattern's a little bit unique. And if you put some special instructions in the comments, if you're looking for an angelfish with more orange or more black or more white, I don't have too many that are really white. Most of them have at least, like this is probably the blandest angelfish that I have in here. You know, and he's not really that bland. He's actually pretty high coverage, so nice high coverage angelfish. There's a couple of the geophagus right there. But yeah, they're starting to show some adult colors, just starting to get that red hump on their head. So it's been fun watching them grow. And yeah, I just have water Sprite packed in this tank. So this is something cool I'm doing. I might start selling some of this. This is Java Fern. It's been in this tank for at least 6 months. You might have seen it on the last video. But this was grown immersed. I grow it in little tubs under the lights, so I utilize the aquarium lights for multi-purposes. And then I just plop it in here with the dirt and everything. It has a huge root structure. I've done this a few times, and and like I said, these are really low tech tanks. I haven't had any die off or melt back on the Java Fern. You could easily start separating this and start planting it around an aquascape or something if you wanted. But this, after 6 months, I have to say it's not immersed anymore. Now but I mean, it still has a lot of nutrient value probably in the dirt. But yeah, you can try that if you're looking to grow some different plants. I'm doing it with a Nubius 2 with mixed results. So I think maybe there'll be an Nubius in this tank. I plopped a nice chunk in here. But yeah, just a ton of water Sprite. Look at the root mass on these big water Sprite plants. So in this tank, I do have a few of these. These are Neolamprologus cygnus. I apologize for the glare. But these are they're probably going to breed as soon as you give them some caves, because you can see I got bare bottom down here. And I mean, the females are close to 2.5, 3 inches. The males are closer to 4 inches, I would say. So I have a few that would probably be breeding pairs very quickly. They're loving it in here with the angelfish. I think they're just a tad more, if anybody picks on anyone, it's probably them, but there's no picking going on in this tank. They get along super good. You can see this guy's like right in the middle of them, hoping to get fed. The angelfish, they'll go right up to the top, and the cygnus stay towards the bottom. So these are my biggest angelfish. These ones are super close to silver dollar size. So these are the silver dollars that I'm selling. Especially the golds. The golds might have grown a little bit faster than the kois. Not much. Maybe a centimeter or so. So I have more Kenyis here. I want to give a shout out to Brian Seaman, who I helped him in his fish room, and that day that we were unpacking all the fish in the video, he knew I had Kenyis and I had tank space for him. So I brought them here, and I knew they were a little bit smaller, so my males are the original yellows here. There's a few original females, which might be like that one. And I've gotten some fry from them. I might have 20 or 30 Kenyi fry that we'll probably see. But I plopped them in here, and they're doing awesome. I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of death because of the size difference. I mean, that big male right there, he could very easily smoke little fry like that. But, you know, they're doing great. It's a really enjoyable tank. It's almost like a saltwater tank for me. As far as the colors go, with the blues and black stripes, it's very active. Really enjoy a Mabuna tank. This is my favorite Mabuna tank I've ever had, just because of the activity and color. Really enjoy it. So all the Kenyi are for sale. I'm willing to ship them. Just let me know. So this is a male, just starting to color change. You know, he was blue. Now he's starting to get his yellows. So he almost looks purple. If he would turn. There's another one. So for the process when they change color, that one's mostly changed. Like these ones, these are definitely going to be males too, but they're just starting to change their colors. They're not full yellow yet. Whereas this guy, he's probably alpha male. But yeah, they've been fun. Okay, there's a lot of new stuff. I should probably move pretty quick. These are for sale. These are the Fire Ugandas. Starting to get pretty good size, nice and chunky. And they're in here with a few peacocks. It's easy to tell the difference between them. Peacocks have a totally different body shape. But the Fire Ugandas, there's a few males just starting to show color. They're a solid 1.5 to 2 inches. And the yellowfish you see are another Mbuna. Those are the Interruptus Mbuna. I don't know the full name of it off the top of my head. Boy, the glare's bad here. So my rainbow fish and red snails, if anybody's interested in red snails, ram's horn snails, give me a shout out. I can always ship a pack of those. But yeah, these are Boesmanis from Lake Antinjo. They're starting to grow pretty good, and I just have some moss in there. I clean this tank quite frequently, but a lot of snail poop and everything. There's probably too many snails in here. I've been pulling them out and putting them in other breeder boxes. It works great for keeping the biofilm down, keeping the breeder boxes nice and clean. And these are a later batch of the same fish, Boesmani Lake Antinjo. So it's been fun to raise my first angelfish. These ones are probably only a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. But I know the camera's not doing them justice. They actually have quite a bit of color in them. They look really nice. The red ram's horns are actually making them look less colorful than they really are. Pracox Rainbows. So I know these aren't a very rare rainbow, but I have a few of those. Spawn those. Yeah, I don't want to scare these guys. These are the Pundamilla macrocephala, which I was saying I bought the male from Imperial Tropicals. Had a great experience. The male came in nice and healthy. It was just a little bit to buy one fish, you know, which is hard. That's all I wanted was one fish, so I paid for the shipping. And I'm very happy with it. So these are a couple white labs. I just rescued those from the tank. I seen them swimming around. I must not have stripped or got to the female quick enough. And they're so skittish, those white labs. For me, in my setup, they wouldn't be in every setup. If I put them in this tank, they would have to not be skittish. But there's so few so few fish in that other tank that they're skittish, and I don't always see the females when they're holding. You just got to give them time. These are going to be the group that I pulled the 2-inch blue dolphins from. This is a 120-gallon tank. I shipped off a batch of these, super healthy. They got more filtration than any other tank that I have. That's the last hang on the back filter that I'm currently running. I've taken all the rest off. And yeah, just super healthy, really awesome. And even more blue dolphins down here. So here's something you don't want to do. This is all new, I keep forgetting. If you have a stand like this, so this is a 120-gallon tank, it's fine if you put a 10-gallon tank next to it, if it's meant to be held. Down here in the cabinet, this is not meant to hold weight. So you can see how this tank is just pressed down and kind of ruined the cabinet. But I'm okay with it. It is what it is. These are 2 to 3 inch blue dolphins. I'm just hoping that it doesn't get any worse. This is a big Venustus for sale. He's just in timeout because I'm not entirely sure why my females are dying in the 180-gallon. I lose one every couple days now, and he might be the culprit, so I pulled him out to try to figure out why I was losing females from my 180-gallon tank. Maybe I'll actually get some footage here. You can see kind of the pink tint here too a little bit. These are Xenotaka clemenciae. I do have a collection point. These are a wild swordtail. Really beautiful. I need to get these listed. Maybe I can zoom in on these guys. I know the lighting is really horrible. It's just whatever lighting's coming from the other tank. But yeah, it's not gonna look very good. But the swordtails are just awesome with that black. They got pink running through their body. Pink and blue stripes. I think they're awesome, and they're doing a great job on raising fry in here. I think there's 4 females and 2 males. So they've been a lot of fun. I've pulled fry from this batch a couple times. I have enough fry that are probably 1 to 2 inch that I can start offering them for sale. So these are the cichlids that came in from the outside 150 gallon tank. They didn't grow as much as I was hoping they would, but then again, I didn't feed them. They were more of a science experiment. They were eating algae and whatever fell in the outside tank, which is basically a pond, right? And one thing I noticed is the multicolored Victorians, they colored up awesome, but they're a little more skittish in this tank. I got quite a few male multicolored Victorians, probably a few more males than females. And there's more than it looks like in this tank, and they're not going to like what I'm doing. There's a nice male down there. They got the blue lips. Really cool colors, but again, no light on this tank. Really beautiful fish. There's a male. The females are up hiding in the leaves, it looks like. But they all come out for food. So they've been in here 75 gallon for quite a while. I'm just trying to put some size on them. All the peacocks that you see, those are Apache peacocks that were bred in the 180 gallon. So hopefully I get some nice males out of them. Still hatching 4 bottles of brine shrimp at a time. I usually let them go 40 hours to 50 hours. That's a whole nother video. These came in from the other 150 gallon tank, which I was actually really excited about, because I put some of those wild-caught swordtails out there, and I didn't realize that they bred and made it until, I mean, they were small when I put them out there. And the biggest fish in there, those are the Clemencias. They're in there with snakeskin orchid endlers. And that's just another endler variety that I have another tank of, and everybody came in from outside and did really good. Here's some Pracox Rainbows. This was the first batch that I bred. So yeah, just like the Bozemantis, these are getting about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. Hard to beat the Pracox. They are very, very pretty rainbow fish. There's a reason they're popular. So just because something's popular, don't knock it. And the Amica splendens, you can see, I think that female's pregnant. I've had them for over a year now. And I might just get a batch of fry from them. There's only 3 fish in there. Does she look gravid to you guys? I'm holding the camera out in front of me so I don't go in front of the tank and startle them, but there's the male down here. But they're all alone. So yeah, I'm hoping I can get, that'll be my 3rd Gadid that I've spawned. Down here I just have a couple rescues. These are a couple Mabuna, definitely for sale. This guy was known to be aggressive from the previous owner, so I just kept him separated. And I'm trying to separate these two, but they find a way to get into each other's sides. And this blue one, not entirely sure what he is. I haven't researched it yet. It's an older fish, big Mabuna, 4 to 5 inch. Trying to put some size on him because I don't think he was getting the lion's share of the food when he was in the tank with this guy. So yeah, just trying to get them nice and healthy. They've been here for a couple months, so I think quarantine's over for them. I think might figure out something to do with them. So yeah, I'm just using these breeder boxes right now. Just have them running. I don't have anything in them, but these are like my latest batch of Angelfish. And look at the amount of water Sprite that's in here. It's just packed. It's thick and dense, and the fish are loving it. I still do water changes once every 2 to 3 weeks. You know, not a ton, because I know those plants are pulling a lot of it out. And I've been adding cuttle bone to my tanks too, just to make sure the tanks have enough calcium. So that's a piece of cuttle bone down at the bottom, if you were wondering. In this tank I have 1/4 inch angelfish, some of the best ones I picked out and put into this tank to grow a little faster, which they have. They've grown really nice. And another wild-caught swordtail, but I don't have a male, so I might end up searching for one. I gotta look up the name on those ones though. And then breeder boxes. This is pretty cool. These are the Neochromis omniceruleus, which I didn't think I had a male, but now it's very clear that I have a male. So I think I only have 5 or 6 babies, but I'm happy to have those. Those will be a new species to spawn for me. Venustus, these guys, they need a bigger tank. And these are Sunshine Bangas. These are Christmas Fulus. They need a bigger tank. I got to work with the Christmas Fulus some more, honestly. More Fire Ugandas in the tinted water. Yeah, look at that little guy. He's already thinks he's tank boss. He's got everybody else pushed in the corner. Well, they're still doing all right, though. And then lots of angelfish in this 30-gallon down here. It's actually a 29-gallon, but horrible lighting. Lots of plants. Plants are doing good. I love that water sprite. Once you find a plant that does well for you, just keep using it, because I got water sprite in my Tropheus tank here, plus Hornwort. My Tropheus are doing awesome. I got my first babies out of them. These are the Chipimbis. I should feed them for you guys. They're not skittish at all if you feed them. They haven't seen me all day. I've been upstairs working. And I just seen 4 little babies scooting around the bottom, so I had to tear the tank apart and collect all 4 babies. And I want to give a shout out to Mac from Glass Cube Aquatics. He came over and visited my fish room recently, and he wanted to try out some Tropheus, so he took the 4 Chipimbis that I got. And for the first time in a very long time, I had Tropheus duboisii for sale. So these guys are doing awesome. Their stripes are starting to get a little bit more yellow. They're trying to breed every day. And I finally had 9 Tropheus duboisii that I could offer to Mac. So he bought the Tropheus duboisii and the Tropheus morai, which are the Chipimbis. So I think that's going to be an awesome tank for him. They should do really good. They were about the same size when he bought them. So check out Glass Cube Aquatics if you don't know about him. Mac McLaughlin, really great guy. Really good fish keeper too. These are Kenyes. These are more little Apache peacocks. These are some of the Xenotaka Clemenciaes, the wild caught swords. I have, these guys are about ready for a 10-gallon. White labs. Down here, I don't know if we're going to be able to get them on film. Oh boy, they're skittish today. They're like, what are you doing with the camera? These are my VC10s. There's probably 1 or 2 holding. Took me about 1.5 years before I could finally grow these to size and finally get my first spawn from them. But I did it. So the amount of fish that are left in my fish room that I haven't spawned is getting less and less, which is great. These are the deep water haps, along with the pearl cichlids, also known as Geophagus brasiliensis. They're really a beautiful fish, especially when they get bigger and start showing some better colors, but I should probably turn the lights on in this room a little bit better. We'll just go with it. These are my biggest blue dolphins. I'm kind of hanging on to this group as breeders. Got 2 huge females there, and a few males that are probably pushing 4 to 5 inches, starting to get their humps. And it's gonna be really hard to see them, but I don't know if you can see them at all. These are Taiwan Reefs. Still haven't bred them. I should probably switch up the tank and do a couple things. They bred a couple times, but they never hold on to their babies for very long. Really beautiful fish. Protomellus Taiwan, or Staveni. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank there, but they're the same species as these blue gold cichlids. These guys hide even more. It just depends. Some days they hide, some days they don't. And yeah, these are probably not going to be here for very much longer. These are 4 Mascara Barbs, 3 Mascara Barbs. Really awesome, beautiful community fish. 4 giant Danios. And I recently sold my 6 lemon tetras. Yeah, 4 giant Danios. And these are the Swordtails that came from the pond. So these are all babies that were born in the pond. And this would be one of the female adults that I put in the pond. And the male died. I only had 1 male, and he didn't make it out there. He actually died very quickly when I reintroduced him to the pond. I don't know what happened. But I do have some juveniles here, so hopefully one of those will start showing some male colors, and I can continue These really beautiful swordtails. The females look that good. I wish I had a male to show you because he was definitely the most pretty of all of them. But yeah, I'm going to work with those swordtails. I'm starting to get more and more into swordtails. These are my biggest Geophagostine dacneri, and for some reason, you can tell these ones are super skittish, and the ones we just saw in the 120 gallon are not skittish at all. So it's just kind of weird. It's just you gotta, if you have a lot of fish, it seems like usually they're less skittish, but there's no golden rule. But yeah, I got some nice crypts growing in here and some sand. They love to sift through the sand. You can see they knock it all over the crypts, but whatever crypts those are, I should really start separating them and, you know, kind of making new plants from them, because they do really well for me. They're a slow grower, but yeah, they're really nice bottom plant with that crinkled crypt. And I ended up throwing some water spray in this tank too. Down here I just have a couple little lulupies. I need to take a couple bigger lulupies in the tank up above, but Java Fern, this is where I wanted to breed lulupi cichlids, and I think that's a little piece of crypt there, and they're not even eating their food. I'm gonna have to siphon that out. My wife must have fed them earlier today. But this poor girl, I think she's egg bound. She's super fat. She's been that way for a long time. And then this little one, I don't know. I'm going to put a male in here and see what happens. I haven't had the best luck with lulupis. And I believe these are my two males, so I'll probably pick one of them out of here and put them with those females. Horrible glare, no light. But there's a couple of Cyprichromis in here. Just two of them. There's one of the males. And lots of multicolored Victorians. So they're not going to look good without light. There's a nice male right there. But the multicolors are for sale if anybody's interested. More breeder boxes. Here are my VC10s. Should probably get them over to a 5 or a 10 gallon here pretty soon. These are ruby greens. Ruby reds. I know this tank's dirty, but I don't want to take the biofilm off of it. This is my 180 gallon tank, and I just salted it yesterday just because I want to stop the death. I pulled out the two most aggressive cichlids in my opinion, so I'm hopeful I'll stop losing females. But I took a lot of salt for 180 gallons. It was, you know, I do 1 tablespoon every 3 gallons. So you take 180 gallons, you divide it by 3, you get 60 tablespoons of salt is what I added to this tank. And they're handling it just fine, no heavy breathing, and hopefully it just makes them a little bit, I don't know. I don't think they're sick, but I just wanted to make sure, so I preemptively added salt to the tank. So hopefully everything goes well. These are Hippo Point Salmons and Blue Golds, which I don't have very many of. They don't spawn for me that much. These are my biggest Kenyes that I've personally spawned. These are more ruby greens. Ruby green Victorians. I'll try to show you the adults. Interruptus. These are teeny tiny little ruby reds. Just got those yesterday. So there's an albino in here too. It's kind of cool. So they just had their very first meal of brine shrimp not long ago. Venustus. I shouldn't show all these breeders because I'm very. There's a lot of babies here. Sunshine Bangas, Sunshines, and Hippo Points. The Hippo Points are easy to tell. There's just a handful of fish in there. These ones are up for bid, so I have them separated. These are Hippo Points. These are going to be the 6 on Aquabid. Pretty good size. They're all of an inch. Pretty close to an inch. I had Tropheus in there, just 2 little Interruptus. That's all I could get out of the last batch. Eastern Happies, I gave them 2 separate breeder boxes so they could continue to grow and not be too crowded. And the 10 gallon tanks. So this was the other culprit that I pulled out of the 180 gallon. That's a Neo Livingstoni. Yeah. That's the biggest living stone I've had though, and he was kind of chasing people, so I decided to move him. These are snakeskin endlers. These have been a pretty big hit lately. And more snakeskin endlers down here. Snakeskin, tiger endler, they're both common names for the same, it's a hybrid guppy endler cross, but really nice, really yellow. The lights aren't really doing them too much justice. And then I have just a handful of blue Moscow guppies in here. Guppies aren't doing that great. These are my blue purple delta tail guppies. They have pink spots, the males do, around their abdomens. These are my Eastern Happy breeding group that is for sale. Those are up on Aquabid right now. Muck guppies. These are the ones that will be for sale on the Xenotaka wild type Swordtails. Starting to show some color, inch to inch and a half. Snakeskin endlers. So here's the rest of the snakeskin endlers that I have. Really nice nano fish. I do like them. They don't seem to breed as prolifically as some of the other endlers I have. And I really need to work on these. I was trying to save a couple tanks, and I have a couple tanks I'm going to separate the best breeders from. These are Santa Maria endlers. And I know they're packed in there, and I know there's some that should be culled out of there. Some of them look really nice and have the Santa Maria black bars on top, red bars on the bottom. And some of them will end up being mutt guppy tank mates. I'm just going to put them in with the rest of the mutt guppies, like this one right here. He's super light in color, so he will get separated into mutt guppies. And I'll only be selling the really nice Santa Maria endlers that actually look like a Santa Maria endler is supposed to. But yeah, I haven't done any separating yet. They breed pretty true. Like that female's really light too, so I'll probably separate her out. Yeah, and these are more black bar endlers. Those ended up coloring up really nice. I'm not doing a lot of these fish justice, but trying to get through everything in one video. So let's take a look at the Du Bois eyes again. Hey guys. And moving on. A lot of fish holding in this tank. These are Apache Peacock hybrids. That's the dad. He was way more colored up. He still looks alright, but it's pretty dark. And I'm not really stripping these females at the moment. I don't have room. But pretty nice tank, 55 gallon. And looks like the Dragon Blood female. She's not holding at the moment. And these would be Yellow Blaze lithobaits, if anybody's interested in these. The male, and I shouldn't even say this, but he's not the best Yellow Blaze lithobait I've ever seen. He's really nice, but few blue dolphins in here. And yeah, you see her. There's a convict in here too. So she's doing alright. She wants to be a mommy so bad. It's a female convict. Really pretty fish. But all she wants to do is breed. She really wants to breed with somebody. She'll lay eggs and there's nobody in there to fertilize them, but she still keeps trying. And these would be Dragon Bloods. This is a Dimidochromis Apache hybrid up here. These are all hybrid. This is a 75 gallon hybrid tank. And OBs, they're starting to get pretty good size. It looks like this Dimidochromis Apache female's holding. And yeah, just have some nice ice dragon bloods, or ice dragon bloods I call them, when they have that yellow running through their body and top of their forehead. I call them ice dragons. Kind of a cool name. And then this one's got more red. So some pretty nice males in there. They're not huge. They're 2.5 to 3 inches. More blue dolphins, and I still have this kissing gourami who gets along fine with them. He has a hard time getting his share of the food though, I think, but I try to make sure he gets some. And these are the cutteries and black acaras. Black acaras are starting to get some pretty good size to them. Starting to show some adult colors, which which is kind of nice if I can zoom in on them. They're starting. They've been kind of a slow grower, but they started super small, so maybe it hasn't been as long as I think. But those are the black Acaras, and the Cutteries are really pretty adults. I wouldn't be surprised. I just did a big clean on this tank, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to breed here, or if they've already bred and have eggs in one of these pots or something. These are my ruby reds, so I just shipped off a bunch of them, and the Omni Ceruleus. So this is a female Omni Ceruleus. She might be holding. I don't know. And then that's a female Omni Ceruleus. And the male is over here. He's the only one with egg spots. And he's got nice blue sheen on him. So I was happy to find out that I actually have a white blotched male Neochromis Omni Ceruleus. So kind of a rare fish. Definitely a different kind of fish than an OB Peacock. But I think they look better. If you're looking for that blotch pattern, I know the camera's not doing him justice. If you put a nice blue light on him, he'd look awesome. But so I sold my best males. I always sell my best males when you order a ruby red. And this one looks like he might be trying to take the next spot in line. So now that I have the best ones out of there, a couple more will color up. And yeah, 75-gallon tank. Everybody's doing good, and these are what I would also call same fish that you've seen in the other tank. They just are a little bit darker. These are the ones that were sold to me as flamebacks, and they're not flamebacks, so they're a Victorian. Still a nice fish, but hybrid Victorians are not in high demand, and I honestly don't want to spread them through the hobby without being 100% certain what it is. So it is what it is. If you're interested in them, they're really cool fish, really nice. If you're not looking to breed them, they would work out pretty good. And here are Hippo Point Salmons. This male started to have his color more often than not. Pretty nice. I love that salmon red color on them. I have another tank of them that's just as nice. These are the Eastern Happies, the blue strain. Just cleaned them yesterday. Looks like a bunch of them are holding. Yeah. She's holding. She's got a big mouthful. There's the male. So nice red tinge around his fins. A lot of blue, and you can still see some of the yellow colors, but black fins. They got that black bar running down their eye. Pretty cool fish. And nothing much to see here. These guys were also cleaned yesterday, even though I don't think they needed it that bad. So that's a piece of Anubias. And these are my multicolored Victoria breeders. There's only 2 females and 1 male in here. And because there's so few fish, they don't really, they're not that active. They're a little bit skittish. These are 2 koi angelfish, really nice, but I think they're both males. So if somebody has a female to go with them, let me know. I can get you a really nice, full-grown koi angelfish male. Let me see if I put my hand up there. They look small. They're still 4 inches away from my hand. But I have a pretty big hand too. They're a solid 4-inch body, I would say. From fin to fin, I would say 8 inches. I don't know, I'm not a good judge of that. These are my breeder Bristol nose Plecos. Oh, we totally skipped over the bristle nose. They might be a little bit dirty, they just got green beans. And they actually just already ate all their green beans. Less than a day, they got them pretty well devoured. But you can see they turn green beans into poop like pros. It's amazing how fast they turn green beans into poop. So there's a lot of bristle nose in here growing out. I just feed them really heavy, clean the tank, change a lot of water. This tank's got the best water change system on in the whole basement. Some really nice super reds. They're just a little bit slower grower, like that guy right here. You could call him 2 inches. He's close to 2 inches. The albinos, they grew a little bit faster, for me, in my experience. And some of the browns are really nice too. This is just a little one, but My browns have a lot of spotted pattern on them. Let's see if I can get some of the adult browns on film. They're in here with these blue dolphins, so they're probably all hiding now, but they will. Oh, there's one. That's one of the smaller ones, but they will come out. But yeah, spotted brown, kind of nice. Get out of the way, blue dolphins. Camera hogs. So yeah, you're probably saying, what are those two tanks? We'll get to those. Those are new tanks I had to add to the basement. I don't really have anything going on in the 5 gallons right now. I'm going to use those for Santa Maria endlers to get some the best breeders out of there. There's just a few shrimp in there and just a few shrimp down there. I need to utilize these little 5-gallon tanks a little bit better. Just haven't had time. These are VC10s. They're getting close to 3/4 inch. They're about the same size as when I purchased mine and had to wait 1.5 years for them to grow. Guppies. These are blue-red metallics. I haven't been working with the strain like I keep talking about every single video. I just don't have time. I'd rather work on some of the other fish, so you just got to pick and choose your time. These are white-tailed ACI. They're doing pretty good. Some of the males are starting to show some nice white finnage. But yeah, I don't have any rocks for them, and I know they're a Mabuna species. They're getting to the size where I should probably think about that. Yeah, why don't we just go across in the row. We'll do the top row first. These are my Pracox. They look really bad right now, but they're bright blue in the morning and look awesome. Rainbow fish always look best in the morning when you first turn on the lights, because that's when they're breeding and subsequently trying to eat all their eggs too. So these are the feather fins. Camera's not going to do them justice, but they got a water change yesterday. Actually, I cleaned their filters. I don't know if they're picking on the males, if the males are picking on each other one by one, but I've had 2 dead in the last 2 months. So not super happy. I just want to make sure the water was crystal clear. Just in case. When you lose a fish, you know, I like to do at least a small water change. These are blue dolphins, probably about 1 inch. Need to do something with them. The breeders, Koi Angel breeders, are still doing great. They lay about every 2 to 4 weeks, pretty much on cue. Those are yellow blaze lithobait. I'm going to call them hybrids because I can't guarantee. I don't think the male was a full purebred yellow blaze lithobait, but they are beautiful. I'll show a picture of them. Yep, biggest venustus that I've grown up myself. What do I got in here? 7 of them, and they're about 3 inches almost. Julidochromis, marleri, they're getting pretty bold. I was super happy to have these finally breed for me. I'm not sure if I even showed that on video, but yeah, they're doing great. So I don't know if that's zoomed in on them, if it looks good or not, but having a big tank full of Julies is pretty awesome. I really like that, and that's the dad right there hiding under the rock. Mom's about twice the size of him. I think they're a really pretty Julie. So another shout out, Anthony Naples. Appreciate you hooking me up with those so I could breed one of my first Tanganikans. Blue dolphins, different sizes. Blue dolphins, different sizes. And I would sell these cheaper than I have to, honestly, guys. But it's the shipping that kills me, and it takes so long to individually bag these fish and get them to you. I think I still have the lowest price. And when you start getting to a certain price selling fish, you just can't go any lower, or else you're going to be bagging them for less money than you would even make hourly wage. And that's just bagging them. That's not raising them or anything. So, yeah. These are Zebrobleacidans. I can't think of the scientific name for them right now. These are the ruby greens. There's the male down there. He's being pouty. You gonna feed me? No, I'm not gonna feed you. There's a couple males in here, but I think he's probably the best one. Yeah, that's a male right there too. Yeah, they're not really showing off. They're in a bottom tank here, so lights are... It's hard to show off a lot of these different fish, but they're really beautiful Lake Victorian fish. Check them out if you can look at some pictures. Those are Geophagus. These are Chilotilapia uchillis, which I would eventually like to breed, but they're a big half, so I got to figure out a better tank for them. In there with Apache Peacocks, as well as some VC10s. Pretty good size on them. And Dragon Bloods, Blue Dolphins, Apache Peacocks growing up there. Only a few tanks left. These guys might actually let me get them on camera. They do not like anything different. These are the yellow Calvis that I'm still working on. I really hope to be able to breed these soon. And there's still 6 fish in the tank. And they eat really good. They're starting to claim territories. I just have never bred Calvis before. These guys probably aren't going to give too good of pictures, but these are still, I have not moved them into different tanks. The Travassiers, the Mapanga Reds, I believe. That's an orange blotched variation male. I think they call that a marmalade cat, even though he's probably not the best. There's the tail of the actual non-orange blotched version. Probably not the best one there is. And yep, these are Crebensis. They're not going to show themselves very well. You gonna wave to the camera? You're in the picture. No, I'm gonna be shy. And real quick, I know this video is getting long. Oh, we got to get to. I don't know if this guy's gonna show himself. Nope, the males hide and all the females want food. These are the Fire Uganda breeders. No real need to show that. But these 2 new tanks, these came from the pond. I was super excited. I have the red-tailed Gadids. And I only had 4 of them. I put them out there. They were small. And they grew huge. That's one of the females right there. And these aren't all red-tailed Gadids. That's the only male. He's got the red tail going on there. Sorry about the glare. These videos, this isn't a pet store. They're not, the fish aren't going to look as good as a pet store. So I just, it is what it is. I'm trying to show you what I got going on. It's more of a breeding operation than it is a show-off fancy tank operation. But everything else in there, snakeskin endlers, except there are lots of little fry. That's a red-tailed Gadid fry. And I think there's another one. I think there's probably about 6 or 7 of them, which is pretty good. That's a really rare endangered species. So that's what I'm excited for, is the Gadids in this tank. Even though the tiger endlers are super cool, and I'm sure they act as an amazing dither fish for these guys. You know, 6 months ago, I was super excited about the tiger endlers. Now I'm super excited about the Gadids. So, yeah, just keep it interesting. Keep trying new fish. And I haven't been bored of a hobby in a very long time. And this hobby in a long time. These are just some more 50. This is actually a 60-gallon tank. Really nice tank. But this is what a Interruptus male looks like. Nice and black, with the light blue stripes patterning through them. And Interruptus females, looks like I got 3 of them in there. And just there's some Eastern Happies in here, which are actually from the same lake. Those are Lake Malawi fish, and it's just a mixed tank basically. There's also some Apache Peacocks. Nothing real big going on there, but I just wanted to move this tank and get these 2 tanks over here to bring in fish from the outdoors. And then I put the 75-gallon in their place. So, all right, tired from talking. So thank you very much for all the orders lately. I love shipping out awesome, healthy fish. Anything you want to say, Melanie? No. But just greatly appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this fish room tour. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. That would be amazing. I'm trying to get a few more subscribers. My channel is so small compared to some of the YouTubers out there, and I know it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of videos, and it takes time. So here's just to the next video. Can't wait to do another one for everybody. Bye.